Hello.
Hi, hi, hi.
Hello. How are you today?
How are you today?
How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I got some coffee here and I'm ready to go.
What if they think our voices actually sound like this?
I don't think anyone does. My name's actually Jonathan, and you're watching
You're watching
the Files Mystery,
The Files of Mystery.
Files of Mystery.
Yeah.
If someone did a Files of Mystery, I'd be so mad.
I'd be like, you're really just taking our idea, huh?
If I found out there was a Files of Mystery and it came out like anytime after our show came out,
Yeah.
I'd lose my mind. I
Because
think.
we would know for a fact they're just trying to play the game.
Yeah. At least with the Australian show, they were before us. I was like, okay, respect. But
also it's a whole different concept. Like if someone came on the podcast, Files of Mystery,
I'd be like,
you're being a little Sister Shady, but anywho,
that's kind of interesting.
We here are the Mystery Files. That's us.
But now we are the Summer Tapes.
Ah ha ha.
The Mystery Files is kind of like the company name, I feel like.
Yeah, that's our company name.
Yeah.
I did put that on a resume. I
what?
put our company is the Mystery Files.
Other companies, the Mystery Files. I've done that before too.
An independent podcast produced by the Mystery Files.
Oh yeah.
Because we are the Mystery Files.
Ooh, it's an independent podcast. We love that.
Yeah, we are. We independently host, all that stuff, produce.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever told you this, but whenever I first got hired at my job, when I was doing the interview process, they were like, "So you have a podcast, right?" Did I tell you about this?
I don't remember. I don't think.
So they were like, "Oh, you have a podcast, right?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." And what's it called? And I was like, "Oh no." And I was like, "Oh, it's the Mystery Files. We cover a bunch of different mysteries." And they thought it was really interesting, which it is. But at first, I was like, I know how crazy you and I get.
Yeah.
In the episodes, and I was like,
don't listen.
Well, yeah, no, because we don't say anything bad, but if they want to fully know my personality,
they press play.
They press play on any single episode of the Mystery Files, and you're gonna get all of me.
That's how I felt when I was an intern at the Children's Hospital. I was like, oh, they're gonna listen to that because they were like, yes, we're gonna listen to an episode, and I'm like, I don't know if you want that.
Yeah,
but you do you. I'm like, I feel a respectful person, and I'm like, on the podcast.
You're like, oh yeah, I have to be a gentle lady.
A gentle lady that works with children and talking about cryptids and all sorts of craziness.
Mothman's eating people, Bigfoot's ripping off heads.
Aliens taking people.
You're like, I promise I'm good with you.
I promise I'm great with kids, and I'm not a psychopath. I just like the creepy world. I can't help it.
If any of our friends who listen to the podcast, they know. I don't know if any of our fans who've never met us know, but we're just, you and I are like this. This is not.
Regardless of the podcast being a whole mystery thing with comedy, I feel like our whole personalities are based on that.
No, literally, yeah, because we don't hold back, I guess, in our personalities or even try to make it more oh my god, we act
we're this crazy. We're just this.
Yeah.
We are just simply this.
Which is why we even did this show in the first place, is because for that reason. So I just, because I've seen other podcasts before where it kind of feels like they're very turned on.
Yeah, it's it's a lot.
This is a lot to process.
For us, this is an energy release. This is a zone where we go to a gym and exercise. This is us exercising our personalities.
Oh yeah, after the show, sometimes depending on how much we laugh or do stuff, you and I are so tired. I'm
wow.
There's times for a little behind the scenes exclusive for all our fans, after we hit the stop recording button, we're kind of I'm so tired now.
Wow, we don't get that. We got every single element of energy we had.
Because my adrenaline's rushing
exactly.
through.
It's just fun. But we're excited to just keep going with the summer tapes. I'm so excited. We started releasing the promo photos, if you haven't seen, on our Instagram.
At
the Mystery Files _.
And we also have a Linktree now, so you can find us on linktree.com/the Mystery Files. And there you can find access to our YouTube channel, our merchandise, our Instagram, anything you need. You can find it through our Linktree as well. So linktree.com/the Mystery Files, where you can also find our merch.
I like the tote bag a lot. Make sure to get that if you're looking. There's also really cute shirts and hats. And
my shirt came in, and I was telling you, it looks really cute.
Oh, good. I'm excited.
I'm excited. I have a dad cap coming in, and it's going to be so cute.
It is weird. Love Redbubble. Not trying to shame them or nothing, but I hate that they send everything separate. That drives me up a wall.
Yeah. I was kind of dang, you couldn't have wrapped this up and sent it out with it.
And it's weird. I got my hat before I got my stickers. My
Me Me
stickers came last. And I'm
too.
like, why are my stickers the last thing to come? It's the easiest thing to make.
No, my
But
shirt came first before my hat, but my hat shipped first. I was
it's
like,
like, what?
how?
Like,
Where
no shade on Redbubble, but also a little bit of shade, you
do
know?
you guys
Like,
have like Redbubble? Do you have like an underground like headquarters
yeah,
everywhere
what's
that
going
just
on?
what's going on there, Redbubble?
Be better.
Give us a call.
Respectfully, I just want to understand your process, you know? And it's fine. I got my stuff in a reasonable amount of time, but I'm just
Yeah.
confused as to why you did it that way.
And it was great and I loved it so much. Please don't
I
take our
love
page
Redbubble.
down.
I love Redbubble. Tee hee hee. Sponsor us, please.
Oh my
Dear God,
god.
sponsor us. Anywho, welcome to Mystery Files. This is the summer tapes.
Last week we talked about werewolves.
I already forgot. We talked about werewolves.
I literally made a joke
You
about
literally
werewolves like
did.
10 minutes ago.
I have the attention span of a goldfish sometimes, and that's fine. That
Is
is
that
totally
the case
fine.
today? Is it goldfish?
It's actually, I get so freaked out by goldfish. It's not goldfish. Nadia has this goldfish, and it's the hugest thing I've ever seen. And then we were talking about what happened if you released a goldfish into a lake. Do
Oh my
people do
God.
that? Are there actual goldfish living in a lake because people they got too
Probably.
big? What's the biggest goldfish? This freaks me out. So I'm talking
Well, they
about
get
it.
really big. Like it's
I
just because like the
know.
like little aquariums you put them in, they like stay a certain size
Well, the
because
thing
they
is,
can't grow.
they get bigger the bigger like amount of space they have to grow.
Mhm.
So I'm like, if you put them in a lake, will they just be a monster?
What if that's the Loch Ness monster? It's some golden beauty.
That literally
Aw.
freaks me out. So if anyone has any information about this, I want to know all of it because I want to see what the biggest goldfish is. I want to need to know, you know?
Exactly, yeah. So send us a thing on Instagram at the _, if you know anything about the goldfish
Please
in the lakes.
enlighten me because I've been thinking about it for days.
What if
I
we
learned
did a
about
case
this
on
weekend.
goldfish? We should.
Do it. Mini mystery on goldfish?
No, I'm gonna do a full like hour and 10 minute
God,
episode
that's
on
a lot.
goldfish.
Unless there's a whole thing about it, but that's a lot to cover.
You think like I'm doing a bit right now, but this might happen. Like 4
Okay.
weeks from now, we're into the summer tapes, and I'm like, today we'll be covering the mystery of
Goldfish. I'll be more impressed if you actually do it though.
Okay,
If you can do a whole hour,
we'll see.
I think we're gonna gold star.
We'll see. That'll be fun.
But yes.
But what
this
should we
week.
get to this week?
This week it's my
It's
case.
your case. I'm so excited.
Oh,
I cannot wait. Should I do
I'm-
the drum roll?
yes, give me the drum
I also,
roll.
so guys, we're like cozy on the floor right now with some pillows hanging out because we were having some audio problems. Tiffany had to hide her computer from me, so I didn't see what the mystery
It's literally,
was.
it was sitting beside me, and now it's sideways on my lap, so Logan can't read it. So
But I
they really
can
can't
after
know.
this.
They can't know.
Ready? Drum roll.
Okay. This week on the summer tapes, I present the taste, the taste,
taste.
the case of ghostly tales of pirates. Did you expect that one? Did you expect
No,
it?
that's why I laughed like that. Okay, that makes sense when you said like it's true crime, but it's also supernatural.
Yeah.
So
That's my
that
favorite
makes
spin of
sense.
things, trying to figure that out. But listen, I was initially going to do ghost ships, but then I had a recollection of the Bermuda Triangle episode, and I briefly talked about ghost ships in that one, I believe. So I wanted
We talked about a
something-
few, I think. We talked about a few ghost ships, so
Yeah.
that makes sense.
So I was like, I'm not going to go into that, but I wanted something like spooky water stuff.
You said, "Are you matey?"
Arg, mateys, it's the ghostly
It's
tales
me.
of pirates, yeehaw.
Yeah, Captain Crunch.
Captain.
Is he on there?
Can he be on our picture? I feel like I always ask for the craziest pictures and you choose the creepy ones. I'm like, but I want the crazy.
We do the Captain Crunch guy, but like his eyes are scratched.
His eyes are scratched out. I'm also so mad that for the vampire episode you did not choose Count Dracula from
What did I pick?
Sesame Street. You chose the guy in the doorway. I think there was a vampire.
Nosferatu?
Yeah. I wanted you to
Why would I-
choose Count Dracula from Sesame
Do you think
Street.
anyone would have clicked on that episode? if they
Yeah,
saw-
I would for the chaos. So if you don't put Captain Crunch guy on this picture, and all you people out there when this comes out, if it's not on there, I want you to roast Logan in all of our photos. I want you to do it all. Reach out in any medium you can. But yeah.
Bully me on social media.
Bully Logan, or I will. I already am. So yeah, this week I just want to thank the whole little website that gave this information to me. It's called grunge.com.
Great name.
Thanks, Grunge. Shout out to you.
Thanks, grunge.com.
Thanks, Grunge. But let's get into the intro. So, pirates have captured the collective public imagination for generations. First, their exploits were detailed in the newspapers of the day. Then, they are memorialized in books like Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Island and J.M. Barrie's Peter Pan. More recently, they've appeared in everything from Pirates of the Caribbean to SpongeBob SquarePants. It's no
Caribbean.
surprise that they're still the stuff of legends. Who wouldn't be fascinated by stories of maritime battles and buried treasure? Most people would say that the days of ferocious figures like Blackbeard, Captain William Kidd, and gentleman pirate Stede Bonnet are long gone. Others, however, believe that these men, and other swashbucklers like them, live on as spirits, guarding the islands and waters where they once roamed. Sightings of ghost pirates have been recorded all over the world, from Boston Harbor to Australia. So, are you ready to have your timbers shivered?
That's terrible. Are you ready to have your timbers shivered, matey?
Well, then let's get into some ghostly pirate tales, huh?
Can I just say real quick? How did you say that? Pirates of what?
I had a whole thought about this because I've said it back and forth my entire life. Is it Caribbean or Caribbean?
I always say Caribbean.
But then when you hear people talk about the Caribbean, it's like Caribbean. But then Pirates of the Caribbean is how I always said it.
Yeah, maybe that's just the movie. It's like Pirates of the Caribbean, but
the
it's
thing
like...
is, if it's Caribbean, why would it not be Pirates of the Caribbean?
I have no idea,
Well, now
actually.
I'm pulling it up. How to
Google of the day.
Because I had this whole thought before I started this, because I was like, just in case. Can I spell Caribbean?
Is your like audio on? Can you like push the little thing?
Caribbean.
Caribbean. Okay.
See, I know how to read.
Work. Okay.
Caribbean.
Dang.
Ay.
So I'm the one who's wrong.
So Logan's just kind of dumb, but
wow.
we love him just the same. Okay, so this is the first pirate tale. So Blackbeard's ghost haunts the shores of North Carolina. So Blackbeard, also known as Edward Teach, what a sad name compared to Blackbeard.
Edward Teach.
Edward Teach. I'm like, Blackbeard? That's a better name. Why did you not...
Wait, is Edward Teach Blackbeard?
Yeah, also known as...
Oh, that's probably why his name's Blackbeard now.
He changed it, he said Edward Teach. Boring.
Ugh, gross. Call me Blackbeard, baby.
Call me Blackbeard, dummy. So, he's gone down in history as one of the most notorious pirates ever to set sail. According to North Carolina ghosts, he died in 1718. But many residents of North Carolina will tell you that his spirit still lives on around... What's it called? Ocracoke Island.
Oh, wow.
Ocracoke, where he often anchored his ship in a channel known as Teach's Hole. Blackbeard was known for his menacing visage. He terrified foes by tying fuses to his long black beard and lighting them before he stepped into battle, giving himself a demonic glow. It is said that that's very visual.
That's too much.
Sorry about to blow your head up like that. But it said that ships surrendered as soon as he confronted them, based upon his frightening appearance and violent reputation alone. In fact, according to Outer Banks Blue, there is no record of Blackbeard ever having killed anyone during a raid. Those he encountered simply complied with him because they were so afraid of him. Mm-hmm. So they were like, this guy's a creep. I'm not messing with that. So Blackbeard pillaged ships from the Caribbean to the Carolinas until November 22nd, 1718, when Alexander Spotswood, the governor of Virginia, sent Lieutenant John Maynard to assassinate him.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
That's crazy. Maynard couldn't be intimidated. He captured Blackbeard's entire crew and had the pirate captain's head chopped off.
Oh my god.
So he captured Blackbeard's entire crew and had the captain's head chopped off. What?
I'm just like thinking about how cool it is to be like a pirate assassin.
Yeah,
like
what?
Like there's so many logistics that go into that. Like, do you need to get your own boat, get out on the water, find said boat, find him, then whack his head off?
Also, like, what are the odds you're gonna win against a whole entire crew of people? Like, how are you able to, unless you also have other people backing you?
He must have got paid good money, like good money, and like
you have to be real sneaky to get in there and not get caught, and then capture the crew and the captain.
Yeah, what was the assassin's name? It was
Lieutenant John Maynard. He was sent to assassinate him.
He probably had like a record of like assassinating other people before too, because like if they were like, oh yeah, he could take down Blackbeard. And
they're like, this guy,
like,
he's got it. He's literally got it.
God.
So,
that is wild. Wait, didn't it say like his beard was like braided and stuff too?
Yeah, it's all braided, and he would attach like the fuses to his beard. But I want to know how it never like went all the way up his beard and like caught him on fire.
What?
Because he would light those fuses on his beard. I'm like, how did his beard not catch on fire and burn his skin?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, he's probably cinched it before. Like, that was the thing. Stop. That's horrifying. That's just like in Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed when the coal miner gets his beard.
Oh,
like on fire. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where he's like, rah, when they're like fighting in the mine.
At the beginning?
No, at the end. Like, whenever they're trying to escape with the little disc thing. And like, they set him on fire and his beard is all cinched.
That's literally Blackbeard.
That's literally Blackbeard.
They were inspired by him. They said, this is actually Blackbeard's story. So, Oh no. Blackbeard's head was hung from Maynard's ship as a grisly token of victory, while his body was tossed overboard.
Oh my god. So like
Ew.
they kept it on the boat.
Yeah, they kept the head on the boat as like a token. They
Yeah.
hung it up, and then his body was tossed overboard.
Oh, that's so
Isn't it creepy to
ooh.
think, like, I hate to be this person, but isn't it creepy to think that, like, when you go to the beach, there's just, like, some bodies in there? They just tossed his whole body, his whole.
It's like still in there somewhere
It
probably.
literally is, though.
That's wild.
But to think, the amount of times you've gone to the beach, you probably swam with a bunch of dead bodies and didn't know it.
You're gonna give our audience like triggering memories. What if we have like a 10-year-old listening to us right now and his mom's like gonna take him to the beach tomorrow?
Listen, don't let your 10-year-olds listen to the show.
Yeah.
Respectfully, don't do that.
Also, don't swim in the Carolinas, apparently,
Also, don't
since
go to North
Blackbeard's
Carolina.
body's there.
Don't go to any beach, actually. I'm actually a non-beach advocate. The beaches are only for sharks to live inside the water.
Because of Jaws.
For the jaws.
Wow. I also love that this episode is, again, Sirens adjacent.
Everything is water
Like,
adjacent recently, at least on my end.
Yeah, that's a
Can't
good
help it.
point.
I can't help it.
Maybe we're just really dehydrated.
That, or I just want to go to the beach and not swim with dead bodies. Personally,
What you know won't hurt you.
what exactly? I wish I would have known that because now I'm gonna be freaked out to walk in the water.
Now
ever
you'll
again.
never go to the Carolina beaches
I
ever.
will literally never go.
Because you'll
Anyone
go,
else who
this
goes,
might be the one.
This time is gonna be the time I find his body, right beside me, floating up.
Just Blackbeard hanging out.
So legend has it that Blackbeard's ghost, appearing as an eerie moving light, can be seen moving underwater at Teach's Hole. Some even say that when it rains, you can hear Blackbeard's voice in the din crying. Are you ready? I'm gonna say it in Blackbeard's voice.
Okay.
Where's my head? That sounds pretty good.
It was kind of like more like Cher than a pirate. You're like, where's my head,
Where's my
Sonny?
head?
Where's my head? I'm Cher.
Where's my head? I'm Cher.
What would like Cher as a pirate be like? Like, argy matey.
Arg, matey. Where's my head?
Where's my head? I'm Cher.
How would you speak as Blackbeard?
Where's my head?
I don't have a low
Where's
voice.
my head, matey?
See? You can do good. I can't talk low. Where's my head? Where is my head? This episode is just called Where's My Head? Brought to you by the
So
Summer
no head?
Babes. Absolutely not. Right off. Well,
And then it's Blackbeard's head.
I wonder if they eventually took it down. Watch, they're like selling that ship at an auction, and like
You
his
think they
head's just
didn't
on
take
there.
it down? It would have like.
What would they do with it?
disintegrated.
How long do they keep it there?
Decomposed.
Like, imagine you're selling this ship at an auction, and it's just Blackbeard's head attached to it.
Yeah, I feel like that's like kind of awkward to think about. They probably
It is.
decommissioned the ship, right? Like they would have
They couldn't
to.
keep it, could they?
What?
Let's go find the ship. I'm just curious. I don't want to see the head or anything.
Yeah.
I just want to, like, see. It's probably not even
I
on
feel like
there.
they would have had to decommission it. Like, why would you want that? Like all that history there? Like you'd be like,
Yeah.
I don't know
I'm gonna
about
look
that.
for it. I'm gonna figure out after this episode where it's at. Okay, so this next little story is called Strange Activity Has Been Recorded at Topsail Inlet. So it's just like, that's the header. So we get into it.
Okay.
So, according to the Port City Daily, North Carolina's Topsail Inlet has a long history of pirate activity. So, a lot of stuff with North Carolina, apparently, I guess, so far. I mean, it's only the second one, so it could literally be everywhere else.
It's still 2 for 2 right now.
2 for
The
2.
Carolinas got the most pirates.
I'll let you keep track of that. You do the math episode.
Okay.
Figure out how many. So,
2.
2. So, the legendary Stede Bonnet, known as the Gentleman Pirate, was captured nearby. Blackbeard, too, has ties to the region, obviously.
Blackbeard too?
Blackbeard.
Oh, like Blackbeard 2 TOO, not
In addition,
not 2.
Blackbeard as well was there.
I thought you meant like
So-
Blackbeard the second.
second. It's actually
Oh.
So, Blackbeard has ties to the region as well, as we've already learned. But Topsail was one of his favorite stopover points for long voyages. Therefore, it makes sense that some consider the region to be haunted by ghost ships. So Chris Rackley is one of many Topsail locals who believed in the legend of the Topsail Pirates. He dismissed the story as, quote, an old fisherman's tale in the early days of his youth. However, he says he changed his mind when he witnessed an anomaly on the water. Rackley recounts that one day, when he was about 12 or 13, his father took him fishing. As they passed by the inlet, his father pointed to a radar image indicating the presence of a low-hanging cloud or ship. Yet the coast was completely clear. Quote, it was broad daylight and there was nothing there, but the radar sure said there was, he remembers.
Oh.
So the
Wait.
radar, what was that?
Oh, that's like a big thing in like movies too. Like a lot of like ghost pirate movies or like cartoons we watched growing up. They'd be like,
it's coming, it's rolling in.
I feel like everything's like comes back to Scooby Doo,
Because
but
it's iconic.
I think the one like the pirates one where they're on the
Yeah.
cruise ship had that where like
Mm-hmm.
they saw the thing and they're like, oh, there's nothing
There's nothing
here.
else in the water. It's just
It's just us, and then like the ship just comes in like.
comes barely. Now I want to watch both Scooby Doo and I want to rewatch the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, that'd be iconic.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I want to rewatch all of that. But I love that it always comes back to Scooby Doo at least.
Everything. One thing about the Mystery Files is we all always tie it back to Scooby
We will
Doo.
always tie it back to Scooby Doo. I feel like we need a sponsorship at this point.
Mm.
What is it? Hanna
Warner
Barbara?
Warner Brothers,
Barbara
right?
Hanna, the company that did it initially.
Yeah,
Is that the right
Hanna
name?
Barbara.
Hanna Barbara.
No, wait,
Well, that's why I'm like,
that's a
what's...
retail company.
No, I think that's right. Hanna Barbara. Hanna Barbera. Is that the right?
Hanna Barbera. That's it. That's the one.
I feel like that's right. Hanna Barbera. Yeah.
Okay. Whew.
I was like, we're on to it.
The one I named was a retail place. So.
You said that's definitely retail. So, the radar showed the ghost ship perusing his boat for a while. Eventually, the mark faded. One can only presume that the ghost ship returned to the spectral realm from whence it came. So,
Ooh.
all those ghost ships probably just live inside that spectral realm
God.
and then appear.
That's kind of like the Bermuda Triangle thing
It
too.
is.
Like how like things were just like disappearing and like reappearing because there's like probably like little portals, or they're going back to Hecky Wecky.
They're going back to Hecky Wecky. But also the idea that like, I just like thinking about this, like how time is coordinated with like stuff with ghosts and everything, like just how all of that coordinates. Because I feel like these people from this ghost ship are like stuck in the past, so they believe it's all still the past, but then they're appearing in the present, but they still think they're in the past. Like that kind of stuff is interesting to like try to grasp.
Yeah, that's so interesting that it's like they're kind of like melting in between like both universes of time.
Like time just doesn't exist for them, but they still have an idea that they think they're still in their time.
Well, you gotta think too, like they're not like, I guess like maybe they could see like civilization or like skylines and stuff, but, like if they're like to be on the water at all times, like they're not like seeing time update the same way we are.
Yeah.
So it's like if you saw some huge cruise ship, you're like
what is that? Like, I'm horrified.
If you see some Disney characters dancing around,
you're like what the heck is an animation?
Like, what is
from
going
17
on?
18, they're not going to understand what even Mickey Mouse is.
They're going to be like, oh, an interactive Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
And they're like, what? They just get thrown on that, but I think it's real. They start fighting. Love. But yes, that's that little story. And then the next one, which I'm excited about, is the Flying Dutchman, and he's known around the world.
I love the Flying Dutchman.
I love the Flying Dutchman. Brought to you by SpongeBob SquarePants. All of my knowledge from SpongeBob SquarePants. So, the legend of the Flying Dutchman is one of the most popular maritime myths. As the old story goes, while the ship's crew was alive, it was never able to reach a port due to stormy weather. Now the ghostly vessel is doomed to wander the globe forever, bringing bad luck to all unfortunate souls who encounter it. Ooh. So, Marine Insight states that the Flying Dutchman was first referenced in the 1600s, when several sailors encountered it around South Africa's Cape of Good Hope. According to their records, the schooner thrashed about the waters and nearly crashed into the rocks before dissolving into thin air. Since then, the famous fright has been spotted all around the world. One of the most notable encounters with the Flying Dutchman occurred in 1881 when Prince George V was sailing the seas as a midshipman. Also, is V fifth or is that?
That's 5.
Okay,
V
good.
is 5.
I had to have a whole lesson with this with Benjamin, so I was making sure.
V is 5.
I didn't want to say V and sound stupid, so I guessed it was 5.
V with like a little I on it, that's 6.
That's 6.
And then it like goes
And then
up.
if it's before, isn't it lower? Like if it was X with an I before, isn't it 9? Or am I dumb? Or is that like 12 if you put it after?
Maybe. I don't know that much. I know X is 10, and then after that the I's happen again. And then it's like XV is like 15.
Okay. Well, Prince George V was sailing the seas as a midshipman for the British Royal Navy. His ship, the HMS Bacant, was coasting along the Australian waters when a sailor spotted the Dutchman on the horizon. Shortly after announcing this sighting, the sailor fell from his perch in the topmast and died.
Oh my god.
So that was like one of the most popular sightings. This guy just
it's
like
like
saw
a curse
it.
thing. Like just seeing it like curses you or something.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm like, I don't want to see it. Another reason I don't want to go in the ocean. Dead bodies and ghosty ghosts.
Another reason you will not catch you on a cruise ship.
You won't catch me even close. I wonder how many people on a cruise ship have seen something like that and like not really talked about it.
Like been like, oh, it's like fine.
Yeah, I'm just drunk from all the All the water wine.
The water wine. It's like sea salt flavored.
Yeah,
Wait, that sounds
disgusting.
kind of good though.
What? Sea
Well, sea
salt
salt's good
wine?
on stuff though. Sea salt's good. Have you ever had a
In
chocolate
wine?
sea salt donut?
Not a donut, but I've had chocolate sea salt and it's been pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
What if it
in
was like
wine, that's not proper.
maybe like a chocolate wine? Like chocolate sea salt wine? I'm really
Okay,
stretching
okay.
here.
That might be better. I'm
Yeah.
seeing what you're throwing down.
Like you have it with like a little bit of ice. Maybe it's like a mocha. It's like a coffee moment.
Okay, listen to this idea. Branching off of that idea. We do a Bailey's Irish cream.
Okay.
And then we can do like a little salted caramel thing mixed with Bailey's Irish cream.
And then it's called like the like sea salt thing.
The
Let's
sea
open.
salt Bailey's. What is it? Bailey's sea salt. That will do that.
Let's open like a bar next. That's our next endeavor.
Mystery
Like the
Files
Mystery
bar.
Files bar.
They're like, oh god, it's like all a bunch of terrible
Oh
drinks.
my god.
Okay.
It's just all of our podcasts on a constant loop.
They're
No
like, oh.
music.
They'll probably think they're in Hecky Wecky listening to that on a loop.
They're like, let me out.
We have it blasted so no one else in there can talk, like a real bar when you can't hear anything. It's
You're
just
like,
us
shut
screaming. You're
up.
like, what is happening? So, on to the next story. It's Davy Jones, and he's one of the most menacing figures to sail the seven seas.
Love me
So,
some
Davy
Davy
Jones is
Jones.
actually the inspiration for this, because I was looking into the ghost ships,
Uh-huh.
and then I was like, I kind of just want to do a case with Davy Jones in it. So then I started looking at all the other people, like pirates and stuff. And then Benjamin is also like, you should just do pirates. And I was like, you're right. So on to Davy Jones. So fans of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise will recognize Davy Jones as a frightening foe with a beard made out of tentacles.
Yeah.
He's like the most memorable guy from those movies. So the character wasn't just a product of the films. He really did exist in pirate lore. Yet historians are uncertain as to what the origin is of this legend. According to Marine Insight, some stories recognize Davy Jones as the ghostly captain of the Flying Dutchman, doomed to sail the seven seas forever. Others associate him with a pirate named David Jones, who could be... I don't know who David Jones is.
But David.
Oh my god!
It's a nickname.
You're so stinking funny. You think you just know stuff. He's associated with a pirate, David Jones, who can be found navigating the waters of the Indian Ocean in the 1630s. Man, this guy is old. Many scholars, however, believed that the connection is unlikely, given that David Jones was not very well known during his lifetime. One of the most colorful theorists posits that Davy Jones was a was secretly nefarious owner of a British pub. A pub!
That makes
a pub! Oh my god! It's like the Mystery
a pub!
Files!
The Mystery Files pub!
The pub!
The pub! The sea salt wine!
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!
Oh my god.
This is coming back together. This is making so much sense.
See, we just like, our instincts just know where to go, and then we just it circles back.
Us and empaths sensing a pub. Sensing a pub.
I'm sensing a pub right now.
Sensing pub vibes. So Jones would make sure that his customers embitted until they were drunk. He would, oh my gosh, he would then kidnap them and sell them to pirate ships.
So not our pub.
So not
our pub.
Couldn't be our pub. Personally, not our pub.
We just play loud music really loud. Yeah. Loud music in the podcast. We just play our episodes really loud.
Yeah, couldn't be him. Honestly, that's disrespectful to us.
What if like it was like, what if it was like our intro was like the only thing that played at like the bar we're at the. No, the.
Hello.
Or it's this episode is brought to you by Anchor.
We love you, Anchor. Never stop. Never quit. So eventually, when his pub went bankrupt, he stole his ship and became a pirate himself. So this guy said, I'm done with selling people, kidnapping them, sell the pirate ships.
Just decided to have a change of pace in life.
Yeah, eventually went bankrupt, and he's like, I'm just going to steal a ship and become a pirate myself. I'll do the thing myself. So he did.
Oh my gosh.
So he was particularly violent when killing the crews of ships he captured. If he was feeling merciful, he would decapitate his victims, and if he wasn't, he would lock them up and sink their vessel while they were still imprisoned on it. So this guy is violent. He's got some issues, clearly.
What's with, like, I guess, like, maybe the obsession with the decapitation comes from, like, it's like a victory thing. Like, you see in a lot of Roman Greek stuff, like, give me his head.
I think it's a victory thing. And then maybe it's something with, like, their soul won't get me. I feel like I've heard that a lot.
I've heard about that, too, yeah.
Something about it, the head is, well, then.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I've heard before too. Sometimes like the soul is like in the head and not in like
the body.
the
So it's
body.
like keep the head or something. I don't really
Because in a
know.
lot of horror stuff, like sometimes the head is like still working or
Yeah.
something, like
And like
or
it
the
also
spirit's still in
ensures that they're
there.
like killed because no
Mm.
one's coming back from their head
Mm-hmm.
being like,
Yeah, that's
ugh.
wild.
That grosses me out. I mean, obviously, why would it
That's
not? But
if you
like,
want to talk about like a problematic person to be canceled,
let's
like
cancel. Let's cancel. What's his name again? Davy Jones.
Davy Jones.
Let's cancel Davy
Let's cancel
Jones.
Davy Jones.
Canceled immediately.
Well, that's probably why he was inspiration for the Pirates of the Caribbean
Because he was such a
person
bad
too, because he
guy.
was just so corrupt and evil. I think that's a part of his story in it
Yeah,
too. Is
he's a
like
villain.
evil, like he just like did so many bad things that started to corrupt him.
Yeah, but like even the tentacles on his
Mm-hmm.
little face.
Ugh,
Ugh,
ugh.
villain. So, on to our next little story. Amanda Large Teague claims she's married to a pirate's ghost. So,
That's you.
me, I'm married to a pirate's ghost. I would claim something crazy like that. I'm like, I'm the first person to actually be married to a pirate's ghost. I'm special. So, Amanda Large Teague is a modern woman from Belfast, Ireland.
Belfast.
Belfast, Ireland. Sounded like a bit Irish.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. Belfast, Ireland.
Belfast, Ireland. I do have that Irish blood running through my veins.
Oh my
They
god.
said coursing straight through. But she claims that she recently divorced the ghost of a 300-year-old Haitian pirate named Jack Teague.
Great
So she married him, but also divorced him.
work.
So, according to the Washington Post, Amanda began to engage with the New Age spirituality around 2010. The first time she sensed Jack's spectral presence, she was in the middle of a meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Annoyed at the interruption, she asked him to go away, and he did. Yet it was only a matter of time before he showed up again.
He's just asking for a date. He's like, "Hey, you want to go
Hey,
out,
you.
baby?" He's like, "No, go away."
Even men don't say no when they're ghosts. Get a
Wow.
grip. She's trying to do her yoga and meditate, and he's like, "Hey, cutie, hey girl."
Ghost calling.
Ghost calling.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, I just told them about the 70-year-old creep at Starbucks today. Guys,
Maybe he was a ghost.
I was working on this episode at Starbucks earlier today, and I'm sitting outside. I'm enjoying that sun because it's like 90 degrees, and this old man walks up to me and it's like, "Hey, your legs are getting burnt." And I was like, "Oh man, I don't want to get burnt." And so I like moved, and I was like, "Oops, my bad." And he literally goes, "Yeah, I like your skin." I was like, "Ew, you sicko."
He might be a pirate.
Yeah, he's like, "I like your skin." And then he paused for a second and went, "Yeah, it's beautiful." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I wouldn't want to burn it." And then I put my AirPods in quick and, like, typed away.
Oh
I was
my
like, I'm
God.
not even... I can't talk to you anymore.
Maybe that's how the ghost won her over. Maybe it was like, I like your skin.
I want to
matey."
possess your skin. Like,
And he's like, "Oh my god, stop it, baby.
stop it, my new husband." Actually disgusting. Get a grip. Don't say that to people. So, annoyed at the interruption, she asked him to go away, and he did, yet it was only a matter of time before he showed up again. So, eventually, Amanda decided to engage him in conversation.
Oh my god.
So, she said, "I guess I'll talk to him." Over the course of several months, she was able to deduce his identity as a swashbuckler.
A swashbuckler.
A swashbuckler. And Cher comes back, "Swashbuckler." That's a terrible
So
show.
swashbuckler.
Swashbuckler.
Oh.
Oh. So Amanda claims that her relationship with Jack was like any other. Throughout their engagement, they would go to Dublin for romantic getaways, argue, and do their deeds. And
Do their deeds
I'm not,
with a ghost.
yeah, I'm not saying that's just like it's a whole plot in Grey's Anatomy too.
Someone sleeping with a ghost.
Yeah, and then she ends up being very ill.
So there was no ghost. She was just mentally ill.
Yeah, well, not mentally ill. She had a tumor, but
Oh,
yeah.
Does
But
that
she's
make you
fine.
see ghosts?
Well, you can make it hallucinate. So she thought she was seeing a ghost of someone. I'm not gonna say who it is if someone's starting at the beginning because I did that recently.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, she saw a ghost. But she was hallucinating him after
Word.
he died, but she had a tumor. So
Maybe
this
that's what's
girl-
going on here.
Maybe
Like,
she
yeah.
was doing that, but yeah, they'd go to Dublin and do their things. So in 2016, they were wedded in a special marriage ceremony on a boat, which
On a boat, great.
Of course, on a boat.
How romantic.
How romantic. They said swashbuckling who? So they got married on a boat with Jack consenting to the marriage through a medium. They also confirmed their marriage through a pagan hand fasting ceremony in which cords were wrapped around their joined hands to represent the binding of their fates. Girl,
What?
I think he's trying to steal your soul.
Can I just say, like, if someone was there, I bet you what happened was that they tied it together, and then
Mm-hmm.
the medium was like, "Okay, time to tie you up together," and then just like fell, like
It's like, oh,
because there's no one there to hold it. Like
for
he's like
real. There's like
plop.
nothing to hold onto the arms. This is whack. So the marriage went south. Well, yeah, the marriage went south after only 2 weeks when Amanda
Darn.
fell ill, and believed that Jack was to blame. So maybe she did have something.
Oh,
Look at
guess
me,
the boat
imagine
is sinking over
the
there.
boat. It's a wreck. It's a shipwreck. So she confronted him, and he reportedly threatened to murder her if she abandoned him.
Oh my
He's been
god.
toxic since day one, girl. Not leaving you
Mm-mm.
alone when you're trying to do your meditation and just egging you
Mm-mm.
on. Red flag, red
How do you
flag.
break up with a ghost? Because they can just like
They just
stay
keep
after
haunting
you're
you.
like, hey, I'm not interested anymore.
Ugh, men.
Ugh.
So I guess he threatened to murder her. She abandoned him. So recognizing that she was dealing with a dangerous spirit, she asked a shaman to perform a deep possession ceremony, severing her from Jack forevermore.
Ooh.
So she got a whole. I think people need a deep possession ceremony from every single
Wow.
ex. Honestly, that'll fix it
Yeah, I
all.
should like anytime like I have like a bad experience, I'll just like start like making a little circle just to exercise it out of me.
Exercise those demons, girl.
Oh my gosh, that is wild.
That's chaos.
That is a wild
You go,
story.
girl. You got your thing.
I can't believe like she probably paid a medium to do it too. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I totally believe there's a ghost here. Like,
Can you like imagine being a medium and having something that crazy come to you? Because you're normally
yeah,
like going to people trying to talk to their loved ones that are like gone,
yeah.
but it's like, no, I want to marry this creepy
Yeah.
ghost.
It's just like so weird because I feel like I believe in ghosts. I think they
Yeah.
are very real, but it's just like that extreme. Like
How are
I
you
don't
marrying a
know.
ghost, girl?
I don't know.
Do
It is
you?
wild.
Not my job to shame, but also he's been a red flag. If it was a nice ghost, I
Yeah.
could see where you're coming from.
If you want to marry a nice ghost, go for it. But like a problematic
You don't want
pirate
that
man,
problematic pirate ghost. You don't need all that in your life,
exactly.
girl. And clearly, 2 weeks after the marriage, you realize this.
Mm-hmm. At least she got out.
She did good for you.
Good for you,
Good for you
Queen.
for getting out, girl. Do your thing. So now it's time for the next little story. So White Point Garden is home to the ghosts of executed pirates. So there's a whole place where all these executed pirates live.
So all the pirates from earlier are now like coming
Yeah,
back.
they're vibing.
It's revenge.
Revenge. So White Point Garden is one of Charleston, South Carolina's most beautiful spaces.
Carolina,
Was
number
it North?
3.
Was it North or South Carolina before? We'll
They
say
just
the
said the
Carolinas.
Carolinas.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll say South.
So we're on 3.
So
3 Carolinas.
most beautiful spaces, and it's nestled by Fort Sumter in the Charleston Harbor. It's a popular attraction for tourists who want to admire lovely foliage and engage with Civil War history. In the 18th century, however, long before the Union and the Confederacy went head to head, it was a place where dozens of pirates were executed, including the infamous Stede Bonnet. Low Country Weekend reports that Bonnet's ship was captured by Colonel William Rhett in North Carolina's Cape Fear River in 1718. He and some 30 members of his crew were sentenced to hang at White Point in a mass execution that took the lives of 49 pirates in total.
Wow.
That's a
That's a
lot of
lot.
people.
Wow.
So legend has it that these men's spirits still haunt the park today. Multiple visitors have allegedly
Oh.
spotted eerie faces among the park's foliage.
Yeah.
Some have even reported sightings of spectral bodies. Ooh, that's horrifying.
What?
Of spectral bodies hanging from the tree branches there.
Oh, like oh
That's
my god, like when
ooh.
they oh my god.
Can you imagine like how in The Conjuring they have
Yeah,
remember
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that whole scene? Imagine that, but it's like a bunch of bodies.
Oh my god, that's
That is
wild.
so off-putting.
I fully believe like it's not like I disbelieve the other ones, but like I fully believe that's happening because like especially if like you had that many people who like perished
Suffered,
there.
especially like with like hanging, because it's
Mhm.
literally
Yeah.
such a traumatic experience. Well,
Yeah.
dying in any sort of realm is going to be like awful, but
Yeah.
like you don't. Sometimes people don't die immediately.
There's
when
gonna
that
be like
happens.
a lot of like trauma, like you said, still there. That's
Yeah.
like unfinished business. So like I can
Mhm.
fully see like that energy there. It's just like I bet people go to that park and they immediately feel a little weird.
I would feel awful.
Like you just like because you know like when you like are in like a spooky place and you walk in, you just feel like this weird
Yeah,
thing
it's
come
like
over
even
you.
like you go to a cemetery and like you don't even want to really talk. I don't know if you get that way, but I feel like very
Mhm.
just weird when I go to cemeteries. But I
Yeah.
feel like something like that, where something so gruesome happened, and I
Yeah.
feel like you might have talked about it before when you've gone to like Gettysburg, how it's just that
Yeah.
quiet. I think you talked about that
Oh yeah,
before.
there's like this weird quiet. Like obviously like when you go to the battlefields, you're supposed to not really like be loud and stuff cuz
Yeah,
like it's a respect thing, but also like sometimes you walk into certain areas and you just feel like this movement of presence.
yeah.
Like oh my god, like at Devil's Den for example, like that
Mm-hmm.
area is so haunted. Like you get there and it just feels like especially
Ooh.
towards sundown like right now like this where we are right now how the sun's like kind of setting,
Yeah.
it's very that like it feels like
Ooh.
there's just this weird vibe in the air, so I can't
Mm-mm.
imagine going to that park because I feel like I would feel something like
Yeah.
instantly.
Like stuff like that has a very dark like energy, and
Yeah.
the only time I've ever like experienced that like really really bad is when I went to visit the Holocaust Museum back in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went there, it was just like heavy all
Yeah.
over, and it got like really bad when we walked past and saw, I don't know if anyone's ever been there, but
Mm-hmm.
they have a whole section with all like the shoes of like
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
children,
yeah.
and it just, oh, it's
It
so
just
heavy. It's
feels
so like it's a
yeah.
lot. But stuff like that, it's like it's
Yeah.
just hard being in places like that because you're like a lot has happened and it's just
Mm-hmm.
like awful and sad.
And I feel like when you have context too, that definitely like adds to it. But I feel like sometimes when you go places and you see things like even without the context, like
You can feel
you
it.
just feel it.
Sometimes you sense it, and other times you
Wow.
know like the graphic and violent, terrible
Mm-hmm.
history, like the victims and everything, and it's really
I
sad.
I can't imagine going to that park. I don't know if I would
This
ever
park,
just yeah,
no.
I can't just imagine being like, "Hey, you want to meet me like at this park?"
But how
And
could you literally go and be like feel comfortable knowing like 49 people were just
mhm.
executed there?
Well, it's probably like a memorial thing too. Like people will go there like for history reasons, but like if we were just chilling in the park, I don't know if I could.
No, who would
Yeah.
go and chill there unless they were like really into ghosts in a way that I'm not into ghosts? Like,
Then again, at the same time, I've been to Gettysburg 50 plus times, so who
well,
knows?
that's a little different because it's like there's
Yeah.
battlefields and like different elements of history there. But this is just
Mhm.
a park that they literally just a
Mhm.
bunch of people,
That is
a bunch of
wild.
pirates. So it's really
Wild.
sad, but a lot of ghosts, lots
Wow.
of demons, creepy
That's so
things.
spooky.
But our next little story is called Brown Bushel Lingers About Bagdale Hall. So I don't know what this
That none
is.
of those words are in the
None
Bible.
of never heard one of those words in the Bible.
That like
So
Bella and the Witch Elm.
Bella and the Witch Elm, Brown Bushel and Bagdale Hall. What is it, Colonel Mustard with the candlestick? That's exactly what that sounds like. So, Bagdale Hall is a beautiful hotel located in Whitby, an English seaside town. It is also home to the ghost of a convicted pirate. The hotel's official website states that it was built for the Coiners, a prominent Whitby family, in 1516. It was passed on to several owners before being handed down to Captain Brown Bushel. Bushel had a comfortable life in the spacious house with his wife, a daughter of Oliver Cromwell's chief of staff. He lost it all in 1651. However, when he was executed on the basis of a piracy related treason charge.
Piracy.
Piracy, so like they said,
Like he
you're a
was ripping
pirate.
DVDs?
Mm-hmm. He was just being a whole pirate and was committing treason. And they said,
Oh, you
jail,
said you're done.
execution, you're done,
Treason, get out of here.
get done. So, according to the haunted rooms, Bushel is still very present at Bagdale Hall today. Several guests at the hotel have allegedly heard him walking up and down the stairs of the building. Some even claim to have seen him floating about. Polster, polster, Poltergeist activity with lights switching on in empty rooms and disembodied voices whispering have all been reported at the hotel as well. That's creepy.
Oh, I can't
I
imagine.
can't imagine like actively seeing something like that happen. Like
Hmm.
lights switching on and off and like that kind of stuff.
Well, that's happened to me before.
Lights switching on and off?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Where? Ew,
not
what?
even just like up your lights, like lamps, like lamps flickering, like on and
Absolutely. I
off.
mean, I've had a light flicker, but I kind of just blamed it
Mm-hmm.
on it not being plugged in.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to think about it as actually a ghost.
I'll have to like I always want to do a Gettysburg episode at some point, so I don't want to give up all my good stories. But there
Yeah.
was one time, like I'll get whenever I do Gettysburg, like that's
You
gonna be
can
a
tell all the stories
long
too.
one because I have a
Yeah.
lot of crazy hauntings
Mm-hmm.
there. But I think I might have told you about before. We were at like we were staying at a like bed and breakfast, and in the middle of the night, like the lights of the lamps just started like turning off and
Oh,
on. So it was
no.
like really weird because like none of us like were
Messing
like
with it.
messing with it at all. Yeah.
That creeps me out. Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
When stuff starts messing with stuff like that, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Like how you said, like, you would, like, unplug it, too. I feel like, like,
Yeah,
where I'd really scream is if I unplugged a lamp and it was
yeah.
still, like...
Well, it's weird that you say that because I've been watching like Sam and Colby on YouTube. I was
Yeah, yeah,
on when
yeah.
men came in, but they do a lot of stuff with flashlights where they have flashlights and
Mm-hmm.
have the spirit like put their energy into it and turn it on and
Oh,
off.
yeah,
So
yeah.
they communicate with spirits through that.
Oh,
But
wow.
their most recent video, like it really freaked me out because they had like a poltergeist incident there where
Mm-hmm.
the one guy was saying like, "Oh, you should close this door," and because it actually closed on them before when they were like down
Oh.
in this basement and they
Oh,
heard it like
wow.
slam. But
Ooh.
then this guy went into this room by himself and was like, "If you don't want me in here, slam the door." And he held the camera at the door. And then as soon as the guy like shifted the camera a little bit to the side, the door slammed behind him.
Absolutely
And the guy
not.
was like crying because he was so scared. I'm like, oh.
Oh, my
But it was
gosh.
literally on camera. I was like, there's nothing to explain that.
Yeah.
But seeing that in person, I could not. So like,
Mm-mm, I wouldn't know what to do. I'd be like,
poltergeist,
that's
I'm
it.
out. Like I'd be fun to kind of see something, but I'd still be scared.
Mm-hmm.
Like as much as I love ghosts, I feel like if anything ever actually happened, I'd be in tears. Like that bad.
Like, this is it for me.
That's it for me. But on to the next little story now. So Captain William Kidd guards his treasure from beyond the grave. So,
Love.
Captain William Kidd is one of the most legendary pirates of the 17th century. He is best known for the story of his buried treasure, which has fascinated and puzzled historians for generations. Ripley's Believe It or Not explains that Kidd was originally beloved by the Crown as a privateer, essentially a pirate authorized by the British government to defend its ships.
Mm.
So he was like a hierarchy guy. He said,
Oh,
I'm
wow.
on top of it."
Yeah.
So his reputation was irreversibly altered, however, when he plundered a 500-ton American ship called the Quetta Merchant off of the coast of India. The ship's owner, a powerful minister, was outraged and demanded justice. Fearing that he would soon be subject to a trial, Kidd took initiative by hiding parts of his treasure on Gardiner's Island in New
Oh,
York.
I've heard of that before. Hiding treasures in different places. Yeah. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
this where it's probably come from.
Yeah, and this was a long time ago too, so it makes
Ooh.
sense. But it was suspected that he also hid bounty on Block Island and Liberty Island, although these suspicions were not confirmed before Kidd's execution in 1701. So, according to Ghosts of New York, there might be some validity to the Liberty Island rumors after all. Allegedly, in 1825, two soldiers who had heard whispers about the buried treasure were assigned to the island, and they were determined to find it. After a great deal of searching, they found Captain Kidd's chest, but before they could open it, the captain's ghost arose in a demonic form, furious that they would dare to steal his most prized possession. The
Ugh.
men were so terrified that they fainted instantly. So that's that whole
Whoa.
story. I don't know what happened when they woke up. Like,
But they still fainted.
they
Yeah.
fainted and
Wow.
they probably thought they just dreamt it
That's
or something. But
wild.
that's so creepy.
I wonder why, like, he hid his treasure everywhere. Like, because was it like the idea that he would get out of jail at some point or something and like he could find it again? Or
Yeah.
was it like a spiteful thing? Like, if I'm going down, they're not getting my
I
treasure.
feel like it was a little bit of both because it's like it belonged to him and he didn't want anyone
Mm-hmm.
else to have it. And then it's also like if he
Yeah.
put it in more than one place, then if someone did find one, he'd still have half of
Mm-hmm.
it to
Yeah,
have
because
for
I didn't want
himself.
people to seize it or anything. Like, it's like, I
Yeah.
don't want this to happen.
Yeah, like it's probably an ego thing too. Like this is
Wow.
mine and like I
Yeah.
deserve all of this.
I've
So,
heard of Kid before, but I don't know where from I've heard of him.
mhm.
Like, I think I've heard of him maybe in like songs, maybe, or like.
Maybe. I feel
I
like a
just.
lot of these people, well, majority, feel like they're like big in like pop culture things, but some
Mhm.
I can't really place.
I feel like a lot of these are a melting pot into like just one pirate.
Yeah,
Like
your
usually
general.
Blackbeard or Davy Jones, maybe. I think like they
Yeah.
take all of these pirates and melt them like in
Hmm.
media to be
Especially the
these
image
two.
of Blackbeard. That's how you like think a
Yeah.
pirate looks with that long
Yeah.
shaggy beard and like
Yeah.
violent and crazy for their treasure and
Hmm.
all that kind of stuff. So
Like you
it
think
makes
about
sense.
even like the pirate from Codename Kids Next Door, even like that's
Yeah.
Blackbeard.
Yeah.
Because I think his name's like Black. Is it Blackbeard? It's like Black Licorice or something like
Like
that.
licorice.
I
I
think
feel like
that's
that
his
makes sense.
name.
I can't remember, but that show
Yeah.
was good.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Oh my
show.
god, that's like where I like learned the most about pirates, honestly.
So that beautiful
Probably with
show.
him. I'm like, yep, he's the one.
That's the one. Okay, well, on to our next case. So, the ghost at 37 Meeting Street is known for petty theft. So,
Just be the ghost on what was it, 37th?
37th Street.
The ghost on 37th Street is just known for being petty.
He's known for being a petty little jerk. So, the mansion that's located at 37 Meeting Street may well be one of the most haunted buildings in Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh my god, number 4.
Number
Give it up for
4.
number 4.
Number 4.
Day 4. Give it up for day number 4.
Day number 4. So, according to the Historical Marker Database, the beautiful Georgian home was built in 1760 by local architect James Simmons. Hence, it is often known as the James Simmons House. Today, it's in the middle of the city. In the 18th century, however, it was situated along the bank of a creek. Given its location by the water in pirate hotspot South Carolina, it's been attached to various legends about pirates throughout the ages. So Charleston Magazine reports that 37 Meeting Street has long been rumored to be the site of buried pirate treasure. Ooh, imagine having your living there and like being on that site. Probably haunted as heck, but like get that
You're
treasure.
like, oh, there's a.
It's just under your basement.
Wait, it's on an island?
Well, no, it's on Charleston. It was initially by a creek, but then I think the house was moved or something.
Oh,
or
gotcha,
the creek
gotcha.
was dried up or something. What did you think?
Because again, it goes back, like, because I didn't realize, like, because it's, like, by the water, it's kind of, again, like Scooby-Doo Zombie Island, how they're all pirates.
Yes. Stop, they're ghosts.
And there's, like, treasure there, and they're, like, trying to, like, find it.
We should have links in our bios to all these different references people to go to watch.
Yeah, like, just, like, list everything we've talked about in it so people can go watch it. I feel like everyone's seen Zombie Island,
I know,
right?
but to, like, have it on one spot, it's like, here's the link to watch Zombie Island, here's the link to watch... It'd just be cute.
Some 5-year-old's watching this right now too, and is like, I don't know
Zombie Island.
No, I was like, I don't know what that is.
What's Scooby Doo?
They would have been born in 2017.
Imagine not knowing what Scooby Doo is. That's embarrassing.
I feel like everyone knows though.
Like a child.
Like as soon as you're born, they go Scooby Doo.
My kid's gonna be cultured real quick. That's all I gotta say. Stephanie's baby gonna be cultured real quick.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna put my infant down on the couch by himself and turn on Scooby Doo for 12 hours.
Some people put Coco Melon. I put
Scooby Doo Zombie Island on.
Zombie Island. They're gonna adjust to horror real quick. They're gonna be traumatized just like their mom.
Oh my gosh, but it was on a creek. Okay.
It was on a creek.
Gotcha.
And then it dried up, I think. And then it wasn't a creek anymore. But
just a dirt pile.
Just a dirt pile. Yeehaw. So, it's rumored to be the site of a buried pirate treasure. So, while said that, I don't know what this is. While said booty has never been found, the ghost of the formidable pirate, most likely the treasure's owner, has allegedly been spotted on the grounds. Some have seen this lost soul. Ew, he spotted on the ground. Some have seen the lost soul in the home's backyard as an ambiguous form with his arms folded across his chest.
Oh my god.
Imagine seeing a form in your backyard.
Ooh.
Absolutely not.
And it's probably like an apparition thing too. It's not like fully realized. So you just see like a glowing kind of figure.
But imagine like its arms folded. That's probably so intimidating.
Yeah. Oh my god.
No.
Ooh. And it's like in a dried up like creek, just like, and you're just like looking outside from your window.
Yard.
I'd cry.
You're washing your hands, look out the window, you see that.
You're doing the dishes.
Yeah.
And you just see some guy digging in your backyard for treasure.
I move immediately. So others have heard him calling out for water in the middle of the night. So he go, water.
Oh, water.
Thank you, Cher. Cher's actually the sponsor of this episode. Thank you, Cher.
Thank you, Cher.
Thanks, Cher.
It's giving Cher.
It's giving Cher. I am an empath sensing Cher. So others have heard him calling for water in the middle of the night. One account even paints him as a petty thief. So an eyewitness who grew up in the building in the 1970s said that he caught a glimpse of the ghost and heard a mysterious creaking coming from the stairwell one day. Shortly after, some valuable jewelry disappeared from his mother's powder room. The collective consensus was that the ghost was to blame. What's he going to do with that? He's dead.
Yeah, like, I guess you can blame a ghost, though, because, like...
They do mess with stuff like that. But, like, where are they going to put it? What if they take it to the afterlife? They somehow, like, rip the
materialistic thing of the earth, and it's like, I have currency now.
They rip through the spectral realm to take your mother's jewelry.
Oh my god, like, spirit cryptocurrency. Aww. Cryptid currency!
Oh my gosh.
Did we just invent something?
I think we just...
cryptid currency?
Yeah, cryptid currency. Oh my god, it's for ghosts? Oh my god.
This is making sense. This is adding up in my brain.
We only accept cryptid currency at our pub, guys.
Yeah.
For the Mystery Files pub?
For the Mystery Files pub, we only accept cryptid currency, so make sure you get your stocks now.
Get your stocks now. Sign up. Okay, now I'm going to pick one last one, so I'm going to see which one has the best vibe from these stories.
I love
Okay,
that
I
you
can guess
always
this one.
pick so like many. Like you just make sure we are
Well,
covered.
I want to make sure. What if I only have like three and I'm like, darn flabbit, I done
Yeah.
goofed myself
And then
today.
you like get to the last one and like, ah, some of these are stupid. I can skip them.
And sometimes I end up going back and I'm like, I did have time for that. Teehee. So we'll just do this one last one. It's called A
Okay.
Headless Skeleton Roams Mississippi's Deer Island.
Ooh.
So Mississippi's Deer Island is seen by some of the hotbed of supernatural activity. So it's a pretty like active area
Hmm.
as far as ghosts.
Also, one Mississippi. For California, one Mississippi.
Wait, what?
Because we
I
were
can't.
counting the states. I'm like, for California,
Oh,
one Mississippi.
Mississippi's the only one that's out of the
Can
norm.
we get two
Can we
Mississippis?
get a two Mississippi? Two Mississippi? So, rumors of hauntings have swirled for generations. In 1922, a columnist named Anthony Ragusin wrote an article for the Sun Herald called The Headless Ghost Haunted Deer Island in Olden Times.
Ooh.
That's a long title. So,
Yeah, maybe that could have used some edits,
maybe
couple
shorten that
tweaks.
down, Sun Herald.
Sand it down just a
Sand
bit.
down just a little bit. But the olden times he was alluding to were the early 1800s. So, according to Ragozin, back in the heyday of pirate activity, a captain and his crew sailed to Deer Island with a ship full of stolen loot. After burying the treasure, the captain asked if anyone wanted to help him guard it, and an inexperienced pirate eagerly volunteered. Little did he know, the question was a test. One of the lieutenants, believing the pirate secretly wanted the treasure for himself, chopped off the pirate's head. Oh,
Oh,
so
dang! Another.
another
Well, I guess
decapitation.
they said it was a decapitation running
Mm-hmm.
around. So like,
So like, they need to stop
dang.
with all that. It's pretty
We just need to
gross.
get all these pirates together and just start some group therapy.
They do need some therapy, not
Like,
only for doing that, like feeling okay to do that to someone
mm-hmm,
else, but also for all the people who aren't okay with it and had to watch it on that
mm-hmm,
ship.
exactly.
Justice for
We should
those
just
sad
start
pirates.
yelling at the Carolinas and be like, "Come on, guys, it's time for group therapy."
Group therapy. You have sad history he loves. So
And then
they
shares our special guest for them.
Cher leads it.
She goes, "Snap out of it.
Snap out of it. Get healthy. Get healthy and happy.
Get healthy and happy."
Someone get Olivia Rodrigo. Happy and healthy. My Cher accent is not good.
Mine's pretty good, I think.
You are pretty. It is pretty good. So the pirate's body wasted away, and his headless skeleton was doomed to roam the island
Oh my
forevermore.
god.
So not only did Ragusin record the legend of this headless specter, but he also wrote about a reported sighting. Allegedly, in the 19th century, two fishermen were sitting by a campfire when they heard a rustling in the bushes behind them. They
Ooh.
initially ignored the sound, suspecting it to be wild hogs. Great movie. So, they were shocked when they finally turned around and found the headless skeleton looming over them. When they staggered back in horror, the skeleton
Oh.
began to approach. Then they started to sprint toward the boat, and the skeleton pursued them. They
Oh my
escaped in the
god.
nick of time. So, like, imagine being, like,
Like
chased.
chased by a
A
skeleton.
headless skeleton.
Ugh. You know what that makes me think of?
What?
The like 10-foot tall skeletons people put outside their houses during
Yeah! We just take the
Halloween.
head off, and they'll be like, oh my
Yeah.
god, it's that ghost.
That's all I keep visualizing is those like big things being like, "Hi."
Hi, but it has no head.
But that's like again so interesting that like there's like tales of like skeletons like of pirates roaming around because
Yeah.
that's another big like media thing I've seen. Like I feel like I've
Mhm.
seen like like a pirate sword inside
Yeah,
a
they have a
skeleton's
sword and it's
web
just a
cage,
skeleton.
and then he's like,
And you hear the bones going.
yeah, like crinkling. If I if I saw a skeleton jump out from a bush, I'd kick him. I'd kick him.
for sure.
You
What's
and
he
I
gonna do?
would
He's just
both like
bones.
horse kick him.
Yeah.
Like
His kneecaps would fall off.
like I would like get behind like this and like kick him like a horse. I'd be like,
It's like, oh no.
like I would. Oh my god,
It simply isn't it.
kicking's like my first go to like in a
Yeah.
fight. Like the first
To
thing I
kick
do
the
is like I'm
bones.
gonna kick him.
Speaking of like skeleton bones, this isn't even really skeleton related. But
You're
did
like
you
I found a
see-
skeleton today.
There's actually a skeleton buried in my building. No, I'm kidding. Did you see that TikTok about how they make the sounds for Mr. Krabs' legs on SpongeBob?
No.
It's just like a crab leg. They hit them together.
Ooh.
It literally, I'm gonna show you because I have it recently. It's on, Benjamin just sent it to me. But I'm like, it is the
It's just like,
creepiest thing. I'm like, how did they learn how to do that? Ignore that TikTok. Spoiler. Not for me, for Stranger Things.
Oh, we're.
We don't want that. Let me find it real quick. It's just so chaotic. I'm like, what the heck is this?
Oh my god.
Okay, here it is. You ready? This is a sound.
These are king crab legs. Tell me if this sounds familiar to you. This can't be fucking possible. These
Like,
are
what?
That's
But
wild.
that's how I imagine they make the sounds for the bones on
Oh
a
my-
movie. They have real bones. And they're hitting
Oh, and
together.
they're just like hitting them
They
off
said
each
skeletons.
other. Oh my god.
But yeah, that's what I imagine with that.
That's wild.
But yeah, that's all the different stories I have for you. I have other ones that we could possibly, like I said before, we can always make different things for our TikTok to show these other cases.
Yeah, we
should
gotta
do
get on
soon.
that.
I
Yeah,
have
I
so
was
many
about
other
to
ones I
say.
want to share.
We've done it for the last 4 episodes, been
I
like,
know.
oh, we need to do that.
So we'll have to get together and just have a day where we do that together.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
So yeah, but what are your thoughts? What was your favorite case? The most interesting is gonna be your favorite. But like the one you were like, that's crazy.
Honestly, the last one with the skeleton thing, that is just like wild, like fully visualizing it. But if I had to pick a different one, because using the last one is kind of weak.
Yeah.
You're probably like, that's my favorite one. I really liked the kid one a lot. I think the kid one really stuck with me. And then I like the idea of like what was it, Davy Jones ships like being spotted all across the world.
Yeah.
That is so cool to me. Because I was thinking about it. I can't remember, like, you know how like you'll remember, like, I feel like we've talked about this before, like, you've watched a horror or scary movie thing when you were a kid, and sometimes you just cannot remember what movie it was for the life of it, but you just remember the visual.
You remember the visual terribly.
I feel like there's a movie or TV show I watched where, like, there were these kids who were just, like, hanging out, like, in their room, and they, like, looked out the window, and there was, like, a bunch of ghost pirate ships that just, like, showed up.
I don't remember
But
that,
I don't know what I'm thinking of. It's definitely from something.
I would YouTube it and see after.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity. Because I feel like I remember that vaguely, but I can't place that.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Like, it just,
Yeah.
it was just, like, so weird. I was like, what is that?
That's
So that's why I really liked that one, because it reminded me of that visual, and, like, in this moment, I just remembered, like, oh, that's a thing I used to be terrified of.
Absolutely not. Being afraid they're rolling it.
Yeah. What about you? What was yours?
I like the one at the house just because I'm a sucker for a haunted house story, and that
Little
seems
Zombie Island
that's like a
moment.
mixture of a haunted house and the ghost pirates. So I like that one the most, and then that whole skeleton thing.
Yeah, I feel like there's like something so funny about like seeing an apparition like digging in your backyard. You're like, what is happening?
What are you actually doing back there? So.
Oh my god, did you ever like go in your backyard and dig for buried treasure?
Yes, but one time I literally found a whole deer skull in the ground, and I was horrified.
Oh my god, you're
'Cause
like,
I was
this is
little.
a treasure.
Because I would dig, because I wanted to find dinosaur bones, because I was me, and I also collected rocks back then, so I was always digging for like different rocks.
Yeah.
And then I found a whole, not a dinosaur, I found a whole deer skull, and I was
my
so
God.
scared, and all the bones. So
Oh my
deer
gosh.
probably like died under this porch, and I just dug it up.
You were like, no, like put that back.
I'm like, I
You
don't want to
said
be cursed by this deer.
The deer's like, I will seek my revenge.
It just like scratches.
I never had that happen. I wish that sounds so cool.
Oh, no, it wasn't though. I still remember. I'm still traumatized to this day. By
I would
that
just
deer.
hit like steel pipes or something. Like I'd be like, that's probably a water line.
You go. You
Well,
nick
like
it.
because they look like copper, so I'm like, oh my god, it's gold. And
It's gold.
like
You pull it out of the ground. It breaks in half.
there's water leaking everywhere.
Terrible.
Sometimes I'd be like, because you know you'd seen cartoons like digging up and finding oil. I'd be like, I'd see that stuff. I'm like, I found oil.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if you also had this thought when you were younger, but I had a thought that like if I dug deep enough that I could like go through the universe, like through the world to go like China or something.
Yeah.
Like I was convinced, so I would dig as far down as I could, and I'm like, one day I'll make it to China. So I was
Which is so
little.
funny because China's not like even like underneath.
No,
it's just
it's
like
not.
to the side.
But like my little brain was like, yeah, this will help me get there. I'll
That's
get
like
to
such
China.
like a thing that was told in like pop culture to us too. Like, oh,
Yeah.
we're gonna dig there.
And like maybe I heard it in a movie, like where they were in the world, it would go straight
Yeah.
down to China. I don't know what I was
If
thinking.
you dug through the world, you'd hit theirs cross.
I
and it
know,
would
that was
come
before I
through.
knew what the middle of the earth looked like.
Maybe you could like dig around it, like go down and then like go around and then.
Yeah.
Could you put a hole through the universe? That'd be so funny.
I don't think you do it that way. You might be able
I'm about to
through
start
through
digging.
the earth you could.
I'm about to go to your front yard right now and start digging.
I want to dig through the spectral universe to find these pirates. That's what I want to do. Find their stories, their ghosts, and
Oh my god.
have a good time. But yes, I think that these ghosts were real.
Oh, yeah.
Personally,
100%.
because I'm like, especially with how violent they were in their real life, like it makes sense that they would be such like aggressive
Yeah.
ghosts.
No, yeah, and like this that's why I really like this episode because I feel like before when we talked about like No, honestly, I have not really been like super like, oh, I don't believe that with other ghost stories, but I feel like a lot of these stories seem very like
Grounded in truth.
grounded in truth, very believable. Like, yeah, tragedy happened, these ghosts are here, or like they have like unfinished business, or they want their treasure.
Yeah.
Even like the one with the girl marrying the medium.
I was just gonna
which
say
is
I should have said I
wild.
like that one too. I love that one.
That
'cause
one's
chaos.
wild.
Chaos.
But even then, like I'm kind of like on the fence, like I don't know. But then I'm also kind of like, yeah, I could see it.
Makes
I
sense.
could see it
I
happening.
don't know. I just love it all. It's chaos and it's truth and it's I don't know.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I love the direction we're going with stuff too. So this is like a fun one. Again,
Yeah.
like I can't believe we've never done pirates.
I know.
Like,
How? Literally how?
When people ask me like what the second episode for the summer tapes is, I'm like we did like ghost pirates and stuff. They'll be like, you haven't done that before.
I know. It's
I'm
like
like, no.
we just get pleasantly surprised learning all these different like cases. We think we do all of them.
Yeah.
And then we search a little more and we're like, wait, we never done that case.
Yeah,
It's
like
a
let's
fun
go.
time.
And then we still have like subcategories, like more episodes we
Exactly.
can even do. Like we could do so many sequel episodes.
We'll just keep digging until we can't find any more. But to conclude this episode, in conclusion, while some may believe that these pirates and their days of horrors are long gone, they clearly still live on in these ghostly stories. I guess the stories behind these pirates and their ghostly tales will stay between those who experienced it firsthand and the rest of us. It will forever remain
a mystery.
Oh, maybe.
All right, this was the summer tapes.
It was a summer tape.
Episode 2. Like I said,
Yes.
if you want to follow us on the Instagram at the mystery files _ and on our link tree, linktree.com/the mystery files.
Yeah.
And we will see you for episode 3, which will be my case.
Yes, it will.
Ooh.
We will see you
I
next
got
time.
I got a lot to live up to. I'm excited.
Yes, you're gonna do great. And shout out to Cher. That's all
Shout
I
out
gotta
to
say.
Cher. We love you, girl.
Shout out to Cher. Keep on sharing. Thank you.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Oh,
Sleep tight.
Cher.